Hello, this is David Dowdy here with the Business Spotlight interview series, and I'm happy to have Blake Cook on the line with me today, and we're going to learn from him. As an owner here, I own Action Coach Lake Norman, a business education and coaching firm here in Mooresville, and I've been in the area for over 10 years. But this is about Blake and Filter Time. And Blake, great to have you on the series today. Looking forward to learning more about you. So why don't you kick us off? Tell us a little bit about yourself and Filter Time.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for inviting me on the show. Excited to learn from you and chat filter time, right? I was a NASCAR driver from 2009 through 2017, and in 2018 I got let go from my team. Like I didn't have a ride, didn't have a job, and I really didn't like that position I was put in. I had kids, a wife, and a mortgage, and had to have income, right? And when my income was stripped away, I just didn't like not having any control of that, right? Where the effort you put in doesn't equal results. I'm a very results driven person. I want to have it to where when I put in the work, I can see and feel results. So I was like, I need to start my own business. That sounds like a business owner mentality. I grabbed a notebook. I actually this is a little part. I don't even know if I've ever mentioned this before, but I was doing my year-end giving to my church, and I sent in the tithe, and in the mail was just a thank you note, and there was a notebook with it. I was like, oh, sweet, it's a notebook. And I just used that notebook at that time to start writing down business ideas that I wanted to start. And I wrote down well, I still have the notebook. I wrote down some very interesting ones that I'm glad I didn't pursue. And I wrote down some really, really good ones, and I'm like, I still may pursue in the future. Um, anyways, on January 29th, so I got the call that I was let go on January 9th. 20 days later, I went to the store to go buy air filters, and I got to the store. I bought a bunch of stuff that I didn't need actually from my house, and pulled back my driveway, and I was like, oh, I forgot to buy the filters. The whole reason I went to Lowe's was to buy air filters. And I started thinking to myself, man, that's such a pain in the butt to buy the filters, remembering my size, remember when I changed them last, remembering what kind I got. There's like 5 different options and there's nobody there to help you. So I was like, it'd be awesome if just the filter I needed showed up when I needed to change it and I didn't have to think about it again. So then I was like, ooh, air filter subscription. I wrote that down in my notebook on January 29th, 2018. Told a couple people about it. Everybody loved the idea. And I was like, all right, that's it. I'm gonna start the air filter subscription. Launched my first site May 21st, 2018. So a little over 4 months after that, after the idea, I launched my first site and started getting orders, and just it's been a learning process from there. I've learned so much, and from trademarking a name to buying a website to everything that goes into starting a business that I had no experience doing.
Yeah, it's a fun ride. Yeah, whether you're a startup or buying an existing business, yeah, there's still such a learning curve for that. So,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so we're what 5, 6 years, almost 6 years later, I guess
Mm-hmm.
if the math works out. So if you had to do it all over again, what might you do different knowing what you know now?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I probably would have taken some time to learn about the important parts of my business while I was starting the business. So for me, most of my business is marketing, right? Just getting new customers. Filter Time is
Right.
a brand. We don't manufacture the filters. We have a brand, we have a service, and we have customers. So when I was starting out, when it came to the point of like hiring a marketing agency or a marketing person or whatever I was doing, I really didn't know what they were telling me or the lingo or what was good or what was bad. So if I had to start all over again, I probably would have taken some digital marketing courses and learned more about digital marketing while I was starting the business. So when I launched, I at least knew what I was talking about and knew what people are telling me and knew if they were performing or not.
Yeah, a lot of education on the front end. Um,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
okay, so that's probably one of your many, many learnings. What else comes to mind as a key learning as a business owner, or even, do you have employees at this point?
I have a couple
Working?
employees. Yep.
Okay.
I most of we're a super small business, so most of the work is contracted. So I have some great partnerships where, people are doing things on the side as far as some marketing stuff goes.
Great.
I have a great partnership with my manufacturer that we're in it to on the fulfillment side together. So it's their warehouse, but we manage the people, and it's kind of the FilterTime team over there, but they're not really my employees. So I've worked out some good partnerships to where I didn't have to have a lot of employees, right? So I have I had no employees till October 2020. I did everything in 2018, 19, and most of 2020. I was customer service, I was marketing, like everything. I'd answer the phone, I'd answer the, on the website you have a text us or a live chat. That would be to my cell phone. So every part of the business was just me till I was able to hire my first employee. And I remember that I had all these resumes because I put out a job post, and I was like, how do you know how do you know which one to pick, And I had a friend that he had this person renting a house from him, and he's like, if you're looking for like somebody that can do it all and kind of be a second you, I've got the person. She's been renting from me, and when something happens, we got a roof leak, she just handles it, and she's just a go-getter. So I didn't need a resume. I interviewed her right over Zoom and hired her, and she's still with us. She's now my vice president of operations, and she makes sure we're running smooth. It was a blessing to get her on board. And then my wife now is doing customer service. So it's just me, Crystal, and my wife are the employees of FilterTime.
All right.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You
Yeah, thank you.
growing. So
Yeah.
you alluded to it. There's plenty of misconceptions about what it's like to be in small business. Of course, you're making plenty of money and have all the free time in the world, right? So
Yeah.
what are some of those misconceptions, and have you dealt with those yourself as
Yeah.
you've come across?
The ones you just named are the misconceptions of that you're making all this money. Like even with filter time, you look at all of our customers, you can check out social media and see all these customers, right? I wasn't able to pay myself. I got my first paycheck in January of 2020. So it would have been what, 2 years after starting or thinking about it before I received a dime from Filter Time. So it was all
Yeah.
give, 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 and put it in the business and improve the business, and all the money it made went back into making the business better. And I set a goal of when I could start paying myself slowly, right? But I
Mhm.
always I had to have a side job. And then I was very fortunate to make a nice living racing. So I didn't have to have immediate income. We were financially responsible, right? And had a
Yeah.
nice emergency fund and savings, and kept my bills low where it wasn't this big panic to have instant income. So I was super grateful and blessed to be in that position. If I had not been in that position, I'm not too sure how I would have been able to do it. Because when you start a business and you have to take a paycheck and make immediately, I just, without raising capital or raising money and getting investors, I don't see how that would be possible.
Yep. That's right.
And
However long you think it's going to be before you start drawing money, double it, triple it.
yeah, cheerful.
Right.
That's right. My younger brother started a little business, and I told him, whatever you think your sales are going to be or what you think, it's going to be 10% of that. Like I had all these projections of how much sales we do in a certain amount of time, and how many customers we get. And it's always been like, I'm pretty optimistic, but it's been
Yeah.
like 10% of what I think.
So you're having a good run at it, it sounds like. So what do you
Mm.
attribute, if you had to name one or two things that you can attribute your growth to, what
Yeah.
where would you point?
I would say consistency, of just keep on going. And I learned from a business mentor of mine that he treats the year like 12 games. He was a quarterback in college. And in business he treats the year like 12 games. So in January, how do you win that game? In February, how do you win that game? So I would set a goal for January, and then I'd break it down to weekly, and I'd break it down to daily. So I knew to get to the point where I wanted to be at the end of the year, I had to get this many customers today, right? So there would have been times I'm in bed at night at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. I'm like, man, I need 3 customers today to hit my goal. And I would text some friends, hey, can you post about FilterTime on social media? And we'd get them. So it's
Hmm.
always been really striving to hit those daily goals for me. And then fixing the issues quickly. But man, it's I guess you could call it a marathon, right? It's like this slow process. I still have close friends now that just signed up for Filter Time, and it's been 5 or 6 years and they just signed up. Because air filters aren't the like most attractive and cool thing to get. It's not
Right.
like, oh, I can't wait to get air filters, you know?
But when it's time, it's a
Yeah.
frustration. Right.
Yeah. When it's time, it's better to have filter time, right?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So you mentioned, I mean, young business owner, family. How do you balance? I'm sure it's quite different than when you were racing, but
Yeah.
maybe not. How do you balance that, the demands of your work and your business and growing that and that consistency there, along with the needs at home and for your own personal well-being?
Yeah, I love that question actually. And it is different than racing, and it's actually less like not as hard as racing and stressful. When I was in racing,
Hmm.
someone's always trying to take your job, take your ride. You're walking on eggshells. At least in my career, I was, right? There's some people that don't have to face those challenges. So your mind's always on, and there's so much pressure of people. When are you gonna win? Why aren't you winning? And looking for the sponsors. Just a lot of pressure, knowing that it could end any minute too, right? Where I feel like that was the case with Filter Time when I was just starting, but once I had some systems in place and I could kind of project my growth, knowing if I did this, I'm gonna get this, and if I work hard enough, I'll get here. And once you're here, as long as you take care of your customer, you'll be fine. So I would say when I was first able to hire my first employee in 2020, when I was able to kind of shut off a little bit, I could get home or get to a point at like 5:30, 6 o'clock at night when by the time we're about to eat dinner and just shut off. And I might have to get back on and work at 10, 11 o'clock at night, but I didn't have to be 24/7 on filter time after about uh, 2 or so years into the business. At first, it was 20-hour days,
Right.
just nonstop, right? I know nothing about filters. I know nothing about websites. I don't, I mean, I had to learn so much. And then one of the things I realized recently was I started Filter Time out of my home office. And when I start to work at my home office, I mean, as a business owner, there's always something to do, right? Even if it's not on your to-do list, like you could be doing something. So I started finding myself at home. I'd walk by my office and be like, oh, I should do this, I should do that. And I was not really able to turn it off anymore and be present with my kids and my wife. So actually, about a month ago, I rented this little office in Huntersville as my home office where I'm at right now, where I can leave, come here, spend a couple hours, get a week's worth of work done
Right.
because there's nobody here, there's no distractions, and I can get home at a decent hour and be present with my family. So for me, that was huge. And I do have an office at our Filter Time facility, but when I go there, that's more on the operation side. So when I go there, I have to think about processes and shipping and just making that process better to get the filters out to the customers quickly, motivate our team. We have a group of 7 people that are pick, pack, and shipping all day. So when I go there, it's just different. I can't really sit in the office and have a board and a vision board and really get to work on growth and setting goals. So getting this little office here down the road was huge for me.
Congratulations. That's a huge step.
Thank you.
And can make a huge difference. So in your racing and in this business, you're working with people all the time. So as you're looking to add team members and to make your life easier, grow the business, what are some of the things that you look for, the characteristics in a good employee these days?
Oh, um, for one, it's trust, right? Like it's really hard for me, and I'm not big enough to where I have to go hire a bunch of people.
Right.
So it's more like for me personally, I find a need in filter time. Like, oh, it'd be nice if I had somebody doing this. And then I start to ask people, hey, you know anybody? And ask for referrals. You know anybody that's good at this area of business or this personality? But I like somebody that doesn't need to be micromanaged, right? I want somebody that's extremely motivated and cares, and you give them a job and they're gonna do it, right? Because I'm
Yeah,
just a bad micromanager. I'm not gonna like track your hours on your screen. Like I know what needs to be done, and I want somebody that can do it and want to build filter time and care about our customers and care about the business. To me, that's the most important thing.
gotcha. Very
Yeah.
good. Very good. Okay, so perhaps one last question then. Um, what words of advice for somebody that there's going to be other business owners that have been around for a little bit. There's going to be some people that are thinking, like filling in their notebook with business ideas, like you
Yeah.
did. What's a piece of advice you might offer up to an emerging business owner or one that's looking to scale their business?
Yeah. I mean, the advice I got um, from my partner, Dale Jr., was we just care about our customers and we have to keep our customers happy no matter what. So every time you get a complaint and you know the customer's wrong and they want a refund anyways, I always have to remember to myself, I don't, no matter what, I'm going to take care of that customer. So for a filter time, we'll give them a 100% refund. No questions asked. Our fault, their fault, doesn't matter. 100% refund. I don't even care how long they've been a customer, how many filters. It's just like whatever you want as a customer, you're going to get. Because that's really all that matters is, I mean, we're nothing without our customers. So I would say that's the one thing that has been the best advice from Dale is like, let's just take care of our customers and see what happens.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Good,
I mean,
good
even
advice.
pricing, right? Like, keep it competitive. We don't need to make a ton of profit. Like, let's just build out this good business model and always think about our customers first.
Yep. Awesome. So Blake, what's the easiest way if somebody's wanting to reach out to you or to order some filters? What's the best way to reach out to Filter Time?
Yeah, I mean, go to filtertime.com and you click get started or subscribe and you choose how many filters you have in your house. You choose your sizes, how often you want them, and what quality you want. We have kind of like a good, better, best,
Okay.
and there's a good explanation to kind of point you in the right direction. And then you just check out and the filters show up at your door and you know it's time to change them. You put the old filters in the box and toss it.
Fantastic. Hey, that's
Yeah.
great. Hey Blake, I appreciate you being on the interview series today and some gold in your comments there. Appreciate you sharing and congratulations on your successes. So again, this is Blake Cook with Filter Time. Thank you, sir, for sharing.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.